Moana
I have a feeling
still in Kansas City.
we must be over the rainbow.
What's up, everybody? Reno Reed here of the Reed team with Trotwell Realty in beautiful Kansas City. Now, unfortunately, it is that time of year again, tornado season. Because we do live in Tornado Alley, I have 9 different things for us to talk about, for you to do before, during, and after the event of a tornado to help protect you, your family, and of course, your property. So let's get into it. Number 1, you want to make sure that your insurance is up to date. It's fully comprehensive. You know, if you built a shed out back, you want to make sure they know about that, make sure that's covered. If you got a ton of stuff inside that's worth a lot of money, make sure you have a spreadsheet or just a list of all the things that you have with some values to them, so that in the case of a loss, it's easier for you to kind of make that claim and potentially get some of that money back. In general, it's also a really good time for you to go with your agent and figure out what is and is not included in your policy. And if you have something that's not included that you want to make sure is covered, now's a good time to go ahead and get that added. Number 2, figure out where your safe room is. Now, some places have a designated place for a nuclear holocaust, a zombie apocalypse, or in our case, a tornado, but a lot of us don't. So some of the things you want to look for is the lowest level in your place. Try to stay away from windows, and if you can't do that, maybe have some wood, something to board up those windows potentially. Also down there, it's probably a good idea to have some food, some non-perishables, nuts, jerkies, things like that, dried fruits, some healthy fats, some carbs, some proteins, as well as some water. If you guys have animals, dogs, cats, turtles, whatever, barracudas, make sure that you have food and water for them as well. Take care of your whole family, not just the ones with 2 legs, but the ones with 4, or if you have a snake, none. And also, it's probably a good idea to have a tarp or something of the sort, just in case your house decides to stop being on top of you, to give you a little bit of extra protection from the weather. Number 3, now aside from a tornado just running over your house like Sam Bennett does other people on the ice, your biggest threat is going to be debris and other objects being thrown at you and at your house from the outside, from the winds. So if you have trees, it's a good idea to go ahead and try to thin out some of the top, so that wind can move through a little bit easier. Also, if you have a tree that's relatively close to your house, you want to make sure that you have some trimmed off of the stuff facing your house. If a tree falls over, it's more likely to fall the direction of the weight. So if the weight's facing your house, it's more likely to fall on your house, cause some big damage. Go ahead and trim some of that up, make sure the weight's on the other side, so that hopefully, if it does fall, it falls opposite your house, and you just have a fallen tree, but you still have a home. Now, as far as inside the house, go ahead and look around at your stuff, your furniture, and look for things that are top heavy. If you've got a bookshelf or something with a bunch of stuff on top, you might lower that so it's got a lower center of gravity, or you can go ahead and fasten it to the wall with some brackets or things of that nature. Now, the problem with the top heavy stuff is it's more likely to fall over, and the heavier it is, the more likely it is to cause some serious damage to the structure of the floor, the subfloor, and things like that. So go ahead, be safe, make sure it's either bottom heavy or secured up top. Okay, number 5, we have finally done the preparation for a tornado. So now what? Well, for us Midwesterners, myself included, one of the biggest things that we're gonna have to struggle with is not going out back and trying to find it. If there is a tornado coming, obviously it's best to take shelter. Now, you've got your safe room. Where in the safe room is likely to be the safest? Okay, well, based off everything that we've seen from past tornado data, the opposite direction of the tornado. So if it's coming from the southeast, like most tornadoes do, or the southwest, like most tornadoes do, the northeast corner statistically is going to be what takes the least amount of damage. If you don't know where it's coming from, just in general, default to that northeast corner, and that's going to usually, 9 times out of 10, have some of the least damage. Okay, so you're here. What happens if you do get hit? Well, number 6, it is absolutely extremely important and critical that you do not use an open flame, a lighter, a match, anything of the sort. If you get hit, there's a good chance that your gas lines are punctured or leaking. And if you hear a hissing or a blowing, or you smell gas or rotting eggs, make sure that you're not doing anything like that. Open up some windows, let it ventilate, get out of there, and let your gas company and local fire department know. If you go ahead in there and there's a gas leak and you light up a match, you just made a bomb in your house, and it is likely going to do some serious damage to the house, you, and anybody inside. So we definitely do not want that. Ventilate it, get out of there. So 7, go outside as long as it's safe or relatively safe compared to inside the house. But be aware of your surroundings. Don't be standing next to sharp objects, things that are likely to blow away. If there is still some serious winds, you don't want to stumble, you don't want to impale yourself, you don't want things getting thrown at you. But also if you see some down power lines and things of that nature, don't go near them. They could very realistically still be active. And if there's puddles in them, if there's puddles around those power lines, don't go in there either. Water will conduct the electricity, and that could potentially electrocute you, your animals, your kids, your spouses, whoever might be with you. Keep them safe, keep them away from those power lines. Okay, so number 8. Again, once it's relatively safe, the storm's passed, go ahead and walk the property, take note of some of the damages. So to prepare for walking through, go ahead and make sure you got long pants, some jeans, thick jeans, thick gloves, long sleeve shirts, some boots, a hard hat if you got it, safety goggles, and go ahead and walk the property, take some photos, take some videos, just to document some of the damages. That'll help you in the case that you do have an insurance claim. The more information, the better for you. Now, at the same time, if you're walking the property and you see something that doesn't look right, it seems structurally unsafe, get out of there. Don't stay. Again, if you have gas issues that you can hear or smell, again, hissing or blowing, or like smell of rotten eggs, ventilate it, don't light anything, let your gas company, let the local fire department know. It's important. While you do want everything to get fixed and corrected, everything can be rebuilt except for you and your life. Your safety is important and the most important thing. So if it's unsafe, don't stay there, get out of there. And number 9, so your house is gone, unfortunately, but it's time for you to rebuild. So your house has been hit by a tornado once. We live in Tornado Alley, depending on your definition of it. Tornadoes are not uncommon here. So it might be a good idea for you to sit down, having had this essentially negative experience, with the builder and talk about some preventative issues to help better suit your house for a fight with a tornado in the future. So something like reinforcing walls or things of that nature. There's a couple different things that you can do today, but if this is 10, 15, 20 years down the road, the technology could be more advanced, could be different, and the way that they approach these kind of things could be better. So go ahead and have that conversation with the person building your house. So I hope all these things help you out in the future. God forbid you ever have an incident with a tornado, but hopefully all this information was helpful and can help protect you and your family in the future. Now, if you or anybody else are looking to buy a home or sell a home in the near future, have them give me a call. I would be more than happy to support them and help them through that process. In the next coming weeks, as always, there's going to be plenty of more video, plenty more TikTok, Instagram Reels, long-form video like this that's going to have some great information and be of use to you. So I hope you stay around, subscribe, follow me on all my platforms. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.